Hello, this is Simracing Corner. Today we have the Apex V2R Performance Brake Mod Kit for the Thrustmaster T-LCM pedals to test out. If you're at all interested in this product, do check out the link in the video description. The Apex mod promises to simulate a hydraulic feel and take your T-LCM pedals to the next level. That's what they say. Does it do that? Well, keep watching and we'll find out together. The kit is a set of flexible plastic TPU 3D printed springs that replace the stock metal springs that come included with the pedals. There are 5 pieces in this kit, 4 mainsprings colour coded to identify hardness, and the smallest piece replaces the preload spring. It is a tight fit, getting the preload piece to push underneath the pedal arm, so for most of my testing I fell back to the Thrustmaster preload as it was physically easier to change out the springs, which I was swapping around frequently during my testing, and I would recommend you do the same until you've decided which combination you want to lock in. Then use the Apex preload as it does remove any slack, so that is better, but do be prepared for how much force you need to apply, how much you need to push down on that thing to push it into place. It is very difficult even with the softest springs installed, so fair warning, just be prepared. Which combination of Apex springs to use is very much down to personal preference. The softer springs will give you the longest pedal travel, and of course the stiffest ones will reduce the pedal travel. I found the rule to work to when combining the grades of stiffness. One grade up or below work together well in pairs. So super soft and soft, that would be a suitable combination, or soft along with medium and medium with hard. But combining the super soft spring and the hard spring, for instance, don't complement each other very well. And that leaves you with 3 good combinations to try out. You may even want to experiment with combining the Apex and the Thrustmaster springs together. Who knows, you may end up preferring that type of setup. Each time you swap out the springs, it's important to drop into the calibration tool and get a visual of the brake pedal gauge. Get accustomed to the sensation of the weight you're pushing through the pedal relative to the application of braking force. Adjust the brake force accordingly to what seems right to you. I tend to set the brake force at 100 or in the high 90s to maximise the range of pressure I can apply to the pedal. Having the pedals mounted to a full cockpit and it being very solid allows that in my circumstances, so this may not be possible for everyone as every setup will be different. So yeah, do adjust that, try it out, see what works for you. It's going to be very different for everyone. Now we're set up, we can move on to the track and talk about the performance of the mod. What's instantly different over the stock metal springs is the sensation you feel under your foot as you push down the pedal. The metal springs lack a strong progressive build-up of tension, but using the Apex V2R brake mod, you get that missing element. The significant difference that makes, well, firstly, the brake feels much more realistic, closer to a real brake pedal, which is a nice upgrade alone. And secondly, as those TPU springs compress, they become progressively stiffer, and through that feedback, it's a valuable and consistent aid you can lean on. That variable resistance enables you to intuitively judge your braking input corner after corner and lap after lap with good confidence, just based on the level of resistive feedback coming from that brake pedal. It's the same muscle memory you learn to operate a real brake pedal. High-end sim pedals also incorporate polymer springs for the brake resistance. It's a simple, cost-effective solution, but utterly effective. And the Apex brake mod does make the Thrustmaster brake feel more like an expensive high-end brake pedal. It's a really good hack. The Thrustmaster T-LCM pedals are affordable, they're a decent quality set of load cell pedals, and combined with the Apex brake mod, it's quite a transformation. Working the different springs alters the brake pedal attributes, making the amount of pedal travel and resistance completely user customizable, so there should be a distinct combination that everybody should be able to find a good setup with. I'm sure of that. This is a mod I can very much recommend based on my testing. It's a really good upgrade, though something I'm unable to answer is how durable it will remain over a long-term trial, being as I've only had these installed for a few weeks. I can tell you some basic facts about the material used. 3D printed in TPU, it's a polymer notable for its excellent tensile strength, elasticity and load bearing capacity. That all points to positive signals to at least suggest it's fundamentally an ideal material for this application. Also something to note, all the springs are printed using the same type of TPU filament, and the flexibility between them is achieved by printing them at different levels of infill. That means the softer springs contain a less densely packed lattice structure underneath the shell, and the stiffer springs have the most infill. And combined with it being a 3D printed structure, could a weakness between a layer form and make a split? It is possible, but I don't know. As far as I can say, from my limited testing, they haven't shown any signs of wear and tear. For anybody out there who's actively using this Apex brake mod, do drop your comments below the video and share your experiences. It's always good to get opinions from the community, and indeed, if you want to ask me a further question about the mod, just leave a comment and I'll pick it up from there. But hopefully I've covered everything that you need to know in this review. One final thing before I let you go, if you haven't already watched my main Thrustmaster T-LCM pedal review, I would recommend you check that out because it is nice and detailed. I put a lot of work into that. There is a link in the video description to that. Also, any other related videos are seed links in the video description that you may find useful. Anyway guys, that's it for this one. Thanks very much for watching. I'll be back soon in a day or so with some new content. So until then, happy simming and bye bye.